Hi guys, I hope nobody minds, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about the recent birthday celebration of President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. You know, President Duterte has been in office now for close to 5 years, and of course he has a massive amount of responsibility as president. You know, he really does need to make crucial decisions that would impact the Filipino people. And of course, it's not a very easy job. President Duterte has explained many times that he prefers being at home in Davao. He's not a big fan of pomp and ceremony. He's not a big fan of being in the presidential palace, but I'm sure he understands that's what the job involves. You know, the fact is, when anyone is celebrating a birthday, of course they should be allowed to celebrate with food or with cake or have a meaningful celebration. You know, President Duterte has never claimed poverty. He's never said that he is a poor man. You know, he worked previously as a lawyer for decades and of course has worked very hard to achieve the position that he's in right now. Of course, you know, any family, they would want to celebrate on their birthday, be it with pancit canton, be it with a cake or with a special birthday celebration. It's hard enough as it is in lockdown, and I know that President Duterte sympathises with every family up and down the Philippines. But the fact is, he's 76 years old. The fact is, this is a real legacy. You know, God forbid, and I hate to say this, but the president isn't going to live till 120. He's not going to be celebrating birthdays for the next 50 years. So why is it not right? Why is it not correct that he has a meaningful birthday celebration? He wasn't going out to some elaborate restaurant or anything like that, or some kind of elaborate event. He basically was celebrating his birthday as any person would do. Any citizen of the Republic of the Philippines has just as much right to celebrate their birthday as President Duterte does. Somebody's just made a comment, what's wrong with it? Bongo pretended that Duterte only eats rice with a candle on it. You know, we all have these little jokes, if you like. You know, as you're younger, of course, maybe as a young person, you maybe celebrate a child's birthday, you would have 5 candles or 10 candles. But as you get older in life, you know, you're not going to have 76 candles on any kind of cake, are you? You know, you are going to have a smaller celebration. You're almost going to say that rice is the center point of any Filipino celebration, or rice is the center point of any Filipino meal. And of course, you know, the president probably doesn't want to eat loads of chocolate cake, so I see nothing wrong whatsoever with sticking a candle to signify a birthday celebration into a rice cake. I see nothing wrong with that. If the president was to have a 4-layer chocolate cake, how would that look? You know, the president is not an extravagant man. Having a lechon as the centerpiece of a birthday celebration is not extravagant, you know. A lechon or having a pig as part of your celebration is what people do on their birthday. You know, my own family would do the same. You know, many families up and down the Philippines would be doing exactly the same thing. They would be celebrating their birthday maybe with some pancit canton, maybe with some coke, maybe with a small cake, and maybe with some lechon. It doesn't mean they're rich. It doesn't mean they have millions of pounds just because they celebrate with something that maybe costs 2,500 pesos or 3,000 pesos. But the fact is, in this case, the president didn't even have some elaborate lechon costing 10,000 pesos or anything like that. The fact is, this lechon was given to the president and he was able to share something that he had been given. He didn't even pay for the lechon. So I think this has all been blown out of proportion. But here is the real story. What do the Yellows have for their birthday celebration? What do members of the Liberal Party have for their birthdays? Maybe they go to expensive restaurants. Maybe they eat steak. So before they can be critical of President Duterte, they need to look at themselves. Ex-Senator Trillanes needs to look at his own birthday celebration. Don't tell me that he is sat at his table on his birthday with just rice, maybe just noodles, sitting by himself. I'm sure he's not. I'm sure he's had very lavish birthday celebrations. I see nothing wrong with celebrating your birthday, particularly as this is a 76-year-old man who basically wants to signify his birthday, but he's not going out to a party. He's not disobeying lockdown rules. He's not having some massive birthday celebration or anything like that. The fact is, he is a man who cares for the Philippines very much. He is a leader who cares for his people, and I really don't think any of the 16 million voters of President Duterte would begrudge him having a small lechon on his birthday or begrudge him having noodles on his birthday. I really don't think this is such a big issue. I just think it's been blown out of proportion. I think Senator Trillanes is absolutely, ex-Senator Trillanes is absolutely desperate and is trying to find a way, and the Yellows are trying to find some kind of story to make President Duterte look bad. But the reality is he has the ability, I'm sure, to be able to pay for his own pancit canton, to be able to pay for his own lechon, and I see nothing wrong with staying at home and buying the biggest lechon that he possibly could have found, because he has the money to do that through his own personal money, because he's a lawyer, because he's worked very hard, he's gone to university, he studies, he's chosen a profession where he can earn an income, and I see nothing wrong with him celebrating his birthday, and I'm sure there isn't any ban. The last time I checked, there wasn't any lockdown rules that banned lechon in your birthday. There is nothing, there is no presidential decree. Nobody said you can't celebrate your birthday with pancit canton, with the best lechon, with the best noodles. There is nothing, there is no law in the Philippines to say that you can't celebrate your birthday in your home exactly as you can, exactly as you will, and I have no doubt that ex-Senator Trillanes would celebrate his birthday exactly the same. So are you really telling me, because of lockdown, next time ex-Senator Trillanes has a birthday, or any of those Yellows, or any of those wokes are having a birthday, are you really telling me they're just going to have a birthday maybe just with glasses of water, maybe just with rice, so that they can join the Filipino people and sympathize for the Filipino people? No, I have no doubt that these critics of President Duterte would probably have the most elaborate birthday celebration, maybe with steak, maybe with the finest wine, the finest foods. So before you criticize others, you need to look at yourself, and you need to see that, you know, he is entitled to celebrate his birthday. And I have no doubt the Filipino people, the people who voted for President Duterte, have no issues with him at all celebrating in his birthday in any manner that he chooses. He didn't have a massive, elaborate celebration. He didn't go to an expensive restaurant. He hasn't had the finest wines, the finest steaks. The fact is, he's having lechon. And lechon is the centerpiece of any celebration in the Philippines. If you are celebrating a birthday, if you are celebrating a special event, you should have a lechon on your table. There is nothing whatsoever wrong with that. The president didn't dress up in some elaborate suit. He didn't have loads of waiters. He wasn't flown to some expensive location on some island to celebrate his birthday. No, not at all. He was sitting at his own table in his own quarters, celebrating with Lechon on his birthday. There is nothing wrong with that. You know what the issue is? The issue is the wokes, the Dillawan, the liberals are trying to make themselves relevant because they know they are losing badly. They know in the polls they don't stand any chance whatsoever. However they disguise their party, whether it's Scam Bayern or whatsoever, the fact is they don't stand a chance. People are sick and tired of wokes. People are sick and tired of liberals telling people how to live their life. I have no doubt that President Duterte recognizes the situation faced by Filipinos. This is why he's arranged the social amelioration program. This is why he's ensuring that a vaccination program is in place. And this is why he's working with the scientists, with the IATF, and he's following the protocols. And I know that he wants to get back to normal whatsoever. But the fact is, infections are up. The situation in the Philippines is worsening in terms of COVID. And what do you want the president to do? You would be very critical if the president said, let's carry on with our normal life. Let's all go out and enjoy ourselves. Instead, the president is following the science and he expects the Filipino people to follow the science. And I have no doubt whatsoever that his supporters have no problem whatsoever with him having a simple birthday celebration at home with Lechon. As I said, Trillanes wants to make himself relevant via various press conferences, as the Yellows do. They want to create a story. There is no story. Whether the issue with the candle in the rice cake was meant as a little bit of jest, or whether it was just, okay, you're the president of the Philippines and instead of some big, massive, great big chocolate cake, you're going to have a little candle. I don't think it was meant in a malicious way. I don't think it was meant to deprive the Filipino people of anything to eat or anything like that. I think it was bongo, maybe just playing. They were having a little bit of a game almost over his birthday to say, look, this is the president of the Philippines, and yet he's sitting at home, he's having a birthday celebration at home. I see nothing wrong with that whatsoever. It was not done in a malicious way. People read too much into it. The Wokes reads too much into it. Trillanes reads too much into it. The fact is, I'm sure Trillanes would have a much bigger, much better birthday celebration, as those Liberal Party would, as those Wokes would. I think this is a non-issue and it's been made into an issue. And the fact is, as much as Trillanes, as much as the Wokes try and destabilise the Philippines, as much as they try and unseat President Duterte's been in office now for 5 years. All this stuff about oust Duterte is an absolute failure, an utter failure. President Duterte is there and he will be there until the last year of his office, until the very last day of his office. I'd like to send him my birthday wishes again, and I'd like to thank you all for watching, and long may President Duterte continue. Long may he remain healthy. Long may he remain in office, because I know it's absolutely rattling Trillanes, which I find most amusing. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching.